Well, we had our first session with Dagmar, and we were all a little apprehensive, but I think that it went well. We basically just talked about purposes for wanting to be part of the workshop.
This whole thing has definitely hit deep down emotions. I'm so self-reliant, I've got to do everything myself all the time, so it's hard for George to give to me. In other words, this is what I'm getting at. It's really hard for him to give to me, and then it comes down, the bottom line is in the bedroom it's really hard for him to give to me.
My first reaction is, I'm not going to be controlled by this situation and this person. So my reaction is rebellion.
So I'd like to be able to, through your workshop, learn how to get in touch with my emotions and my feelings, know for myself when I'm not ready, and then be able to communicate that to my wife and say, it's not that I don't love you, but I don't feel like having sex with you right now, or being intimate.
It's in my life in the past, it's been me against the world. As I'm saying that, I can feel emotions. I want to go as deep as I can with John, because I feel totally safe with John.
I think this is the time to give you the first exercise. Anybody nervous about doing the first exercise?
We got our assignment from Dagmar. What we had to do was, between Charlene and myself, we chose to be, one of us was a touchy and one of us was a toucher. And the touchy got to initiate what's called a touching session, which consists of, at any point during the day after we left Dagmar, Charlene had to say to me, I want to be touched now. And at that point, I had to drop whatever we were doing and go back to our room and remove our clothes and spend anywhere between 15 minutes and 45 minutes touching her.
We weren't allowed to talk. We weren't allowed to touch any genitals.
There were a couple of times when we kind of cheated.
It was 15 minutes is a long time.
And I got to say that I never really noticed what my husband's calves looked like before. And
we're talking about selfish. Again, here you're being selfish. This is just the first exercise that will help you calm down and start making your body feel.
Last night, George and I were given an assignment to have him initiate a touching session and possibly for me to initiate another double session before we came back to group today.
We had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun with it.
It was wonderful.
I really was very aware of Jan's hands and Jan's touch.
And then he touched me, and when he kissed the back of my neck, I cried. It felt really good and very gentle, and I realized how much I love his touch, and I just like his body touching mine. We're close a lot. We stay close, our bodies are close, and I just felt really warm and comforted and loved. This morning I woke up, had erotic dreams right before I woke up about George, and so I woke up and asked for the touching session that I was allowed to initiate.
Yesterday afternoon, I got a phone call here that my father's been put in the hospital, and it doesn't look like he's going to live for very long. It's all pretty shocking. I want to see my father. And that's where I am.
I've been married a year. I've never been through anything like this before with my husband.
We've made arrangements to go home today. That's not going to work, though.
There's no flights. We can't get out of here. We're trapped in Jamaica.
I didn't want to do the session last night. It was my turn to initiate. It was the furthest thing from my mind, but I felt an obligation to you and to the rest of the group to hold up my end of the, of our agreement. The whole purpose of this is to concentrate on feelings and stuff, but I couldn't shut out the noise from what had happened.
I had no business taking from him during the touching session, and we still continued it. I felt that I should have been totally touching him for, hours and hours and hours and hours. And
the biggest gift you, Charlene, can make to John when he's touching you is to receive from him. Because I think what he needs to do now is to feel that what he does is useful for you.
George and Dagmar and myself had a session today, which was called the men's session. In other words, the ultimate achievement is always an orgasm. That's what we were taught, or I was taught anyway, was what was supposed to happen during sex. That was the goal. Sex has always been goal-oriented, not oriented towards feelings.
Let's talk about masturbation. How often do you guys masturbate? And can you do it when she is there, or is it a real closet behavior?
I think masturbation has been sort of closet behavior in my adult life, and even in our relationship, until recently. Very recently.
How recently?
About 4 or 5 hours ago.
You never made love to yourself?
No, I've never made love to myself. I've been worried that I'd be cheating on my husband if I masturbated. I've never been able to do that for myself, to myself, either alone or with my husband.
When we got together afterwards, one of the things Dagmar told us was that it's okay for us to have fantasies within our relationship.
I'm asking for permission from you, and at the same time I need to accept that you're human, and then that's what you need too, if that's indeed what you need. So, I guess we have another area to work on, dear.
So now, by being explicit with each other and giving each other permission to do this, it alleviates any kind of guilt that either one of us might have. Well, it was about 3:30 this morning. I got the phone call that I kind of had expected that we were going to get. My father passed away, and, well, we need to go home, which we had planned on doing anyway. There's just the sense of urgency isn't there like it was yesterday to try and get home.
This has been a real roller coaster ride this whole time down here. We've been down here a very short period of time.
I really wanted to get home before he passed away, but I guess that wasn't supposed to happen. I wish I had seen him before he died. I feel that in the couple days that we've been here, that Charlene and I have grown a lot closer and are able to communicate with each other a lot more, and I'm afraid that once we get back to our regular situations, back to work, back to going to the gym and doing this, and, back to our real lives, especially with the added stress of having to deal with taking care of my father's estate, that we'll kind of just forget about what happened and kind of just toss it to the side.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Charlene and John have a problem that they both want to give, and nobody wants to be the taker. So what we started working on is to have Charlene take care of herself, and then let John take care of himself. They're going to need a lot more work on that.